Hello and welcome to another step-by-step how to tie tutorial video. This is the Zug Bug. This is the letter Z in my A to Z fly tying series. This is the final of the alphabet. This is out of my Norwegian fly tying book. This has been a lot of fun to work through, starting from the letter A all the way through here to letter Z. Apple green to Zug Bug. Anyways, this is tied on a size 12. This is a Dia-Riki number 730. Underneath this all, we're going to add a little bit of lead wire, help get this nymph down. For a tie-in thread, I'm just using a standard black waxed thread. For a tail, I have Peacock Sward. For the main body, that consists of Peacock Herl. I have a embossed gold metal tinsel that I will be using for ribbing. We will be using a little bit of natural brown hackle for the collar. And for the wing up top, I will be using a little bit of Mallard flank trimmed down. So let's go ahead and remove our sample. And we will secure our hook to the vise. And we'll start this with some wraps of lead wire. I am using 0.020. And I'm going to do mine as counter wraps, working from the rear to the front. I'm going to compress it along the way. And we'll give it about 10-12 wraps or so. Alright, once our lead is in position, we'll come in with our tying thread. We'll begin this right up front. Then we'll go through and capture this lead wire. We'll take a few wraps to the rear, secure it in the back end, we'll compress it once more, and we'll trim off that tying thread. Alright, let's go ahead and take a couple more wraps over this lead wire, making sure it is nice and secured. And it's not going anywhere. We'll continue our thread wraps towards the bend of the hook, where we will tie in our peacock sword for our tail. I'm going to isolate about five individual fibers. Once those tips are lined up, I'm just going to strip them off. I measure out about a hook's length, maybe a little bit smaller. We'll secure those in. And trim off our excess. At this point, we can come in with our embossed gold tinsel. We'll tie that in. I'm tying this all in right behind that lead wire. This will help with a decent step-up taper. Take that all the way to the bend. And now we can come in with our Peacock Herl. I'm going to tie this in by the tips. I have 3 strands. I'm just going to lay those in tips forward. Run this all the way forward by the lead, and just to give that a little bit of extra in there. A couple more wraps over this lead wire. Nothing wrong with building up a little bit of size to this bug. Alright, we're going to park our thread just forward of our lead wire. We're going to palm around with touching wraps our 3 strands of Peacock Herl. We want to pack these in relatively close to each other. Build up a nice body. Looks like I got one hanging out in the back. That'll fill in the gaps. As we build this Zug Bug forward. As we all know, there's some magical property to Peacock the fish find so appetizing. Alright, we're at our thread. We can go ahead and secure our Peacock Herl. Couple locking wraps. And we'll trim off our excess. Now we'll bring our ribbing material forward. We'll do a nice open spiral, working from the rear to the front. Always be mindful around the tip of any hook. They are incredibly sharp and inevitably break any material off if you nick it just wrong. Alright, once our ribbing material is all the way forward, we can secure that down. And I did an added one extra wrap up front to prevent the visible wrap from sliding around. Alright, we'll trim this off. Take our thread back here to the back portion of the head, and we'll come in with our hackle. And I'm going to tie this in like a soft hackle. So I shall be tying in the tip of the feather. I don't want this to be too thick. A couple of locking wraps. We'll come in here and trim off that tip. We'll grab our hackle pliers just to give us something solid to grip onto. We'll just take a couple of turns with this hackle, bring in the fibers to the rear. So that's one full. That's our second full turn, and we'll do a third full turn. So with this particular material, this particular hackle feather, I'm taking 3 full turns. And we'll trim off our excess. Take any of those stray fibers that might have worked their way forward. We'll get those worked back here. Now we can come in with our mallard. We're going to tie in the tip of the feather. And the width of your wing depends on how far down to the tip you want to go. Because this is all going to, most of it's going to get trimmed off. We'll tie the tip towards the rear. Be sure to save the remainder of this feather. This is good material for another fly of a different pattern. Tidy up the head. We'll finish this off with the 1, 2, 3 whip finish. And we'll come in and trim off our tying thread. And now we get to trim our little wing to length. I'm going to take this about half the body. thereabouts. So there you have it, folks. That is the Zug Bug in a size 12 in my A to Z fly tying series. Be sure to check out that playlist. Hit that subscribe button. Happy tying, everybody. And with this one, tight lines.